Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 5th grade concept of comparing ordering and ordering decimals. This is 5.2b Readiness Practice, the advanced version. If you are interested in exploring the 5.2b practice for the intermediate or the proficient versions, or the Readiness Practice resource aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description. So for our first problem, we've got 4 athletes competing in a long jump competition. We need to see which athletes, if any, beat the school record. So let's go ahead and just put that school record in a place value chart here. So I'm going to get 4 digits, right? So there's my decimal. That's going to be my ones place. Make that my tenths place. That's my hundredths place. And then my third place past the decimal will be my thousandths place. And so what I want to do is I want to build my number within this place value chart. Let's make it green. 4.291, which if we wanted to read that would be 4 and 291 thousandths. So then let's build the rest of our numbers and we'll see which ones beat that record in regards to our long jump. So we've got 4.29, which is 4 and 29 hundredths. 4.295, 4 and 295 thousandths, and then finally 4 and 289 thousandths. And so, and I missed that 4.3. Let's put that 4.3 in there. 4.3, and we'll just leave it like that for now. So, what does it mean to beat a record? Well, this is a long jump record. So long jump is you're measuring how far you can go. So we want to see which numbers are going to be farther or longer than this current record. And you notice my 4.29 and my 4.3, they don't go to the same place value. So what I want to do is a trick that you can always do to compare decimals. And you can just put zeros on the end of any decimal, and it's not going to make the number any different. It's just going to look a little different. But now, since all of our ones place has a 4, and besides the last one, they all have a 2, really, we can just look at the last 2 or 3 digits. So when I'm looking at this 4.290, you see that that is 1 thousandth less than 4.291. And really, I'm just looking at 290 and 291. So the school record was 291, if we kind of leave off the 4. And athlete A only got 290, so missed it by 1,000th of a meter, so does not work. Athlete B, I ended up putting down here, was, and so I'll go ahead and put A, B, C, and D. So 4.3, we'll look at 4.291 is the record. 300 is greater than 291. So we'll say athlete B beat the record, beat the school record. And the reason the athlete B school the record, we need to explain the reasoning, is I'll use symbols here. 4.3 is greater than 4.291. All right, let's look at athlete C, 4.295. 295 is greater than 291, barely. So even though athlete B got the longest, it didn't ask which is the longest. It asked which athletes beat the school record, and athlete C also beat the school record. And then so school, let's put record right there. Let's do that for this one up here. Say beat the school record. And we're going to say 4.295 is greater than 4.291. And then finally, D doesn't quite get there. 289 is just a little bit less than my 291. So 2 out of the 4 athletes beat the school record, and we explain our reasoning with symbols here. All right, so now we need to complete the following comparisons to make something true. Okay, so let's start with this first one here. So I'm just going to build a place value chart, and it looks like most of these, besides the bonus, just go to the hundredths is the biggest. So I'm going to just make a place value chart that I can use for multiple sets of numbers. I'll go like this. 0.01. All right, so there's my decimal. So you see 3.57, 35.7, excuse me, needs to be greater than something. And then that something needs to be greater than 35.6. So you might be thinking, well, they both have a 35, and then there's nothing in between 7 and 6. Well, that's kind of the trick. What if we did what we did last time and we added zeros? Now, can we think of something that would fit between 35.70 and 35.60? Well, hopefully we can. There's 9 different options there. We can do 35.61, 0.62, all the way up to 0.69. So I'm going to say 35, just split the difference there, 65. And so we're looking for a number in the middle. And if we wanted to do that, the trick is to add that extra zero. And that will kind of make it a little bit more visible. So let's try the second number. 0.34, 0.35. So we need a number that is greater than 0.34, less than 0.35. Once again, I'm going to add an extra column. It's my thousandths. And so if I add a 0 here, now I've got 340 and 350. And so we can do that same thing. We can put 340 something. This time I'll do 343. So we can say 0.343 or 343 thousandths is greater than 34 hundredths but less than 35 hundredths. All right, so let's build another place value chart. And we'll just do, right now I've just got my tens in my ones. I've got 15. Something needs to be between 15 and 14. Hopefully you see this is what we need to do. Let's add our tenths place. Let's add a 0. And so now we're looking for something that is between 14 and 15. So we could do 14.6. Now, if you wanted to, we could have added a hundredths place, a thousandths place. We could add as many decimals as we want to afterwards. So what is less than 15? Greater than 14. I'll say 14.6. And obviously here, I am going to go ahead and just put up here at the top. Answers may vary because there are more than one answer choice for each of these slots. Now, here's the bonus one. Now, hopefully you see the pattern, but this is going to be a big one. So let's get all of our slots down here. So I've got my hundreds, my tens, my ones, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. All right, so if I build my two numbers, 210.424 and then 210.425, well, you might think we've run out of decimals because in the fifth place we only go up to the thousandths place, but we haven't run out of decimals. That's just as far as we learn in the fifth grade. You can always add another decimal to the right. It goes on infinitely. And so this is our thousandths place is the third place. So if we do this And I'm going to just have to kind of cram it in there. 0.0001. That's our 10,000ths place. And if you just added an extra zero, you're correct. And so we can just do that same thing. 210.42, and then these between 40 and 50. So let's make it like 41. And so that would work. Obviously, there's more than one answer, but you can add as many decimals afterwards as you want to in order to find a number that's in between. For our third problem, we've got a table showing the lengths of 7 pieces of fabric. We need to put an order from longest to shortest, and then we need to find which piece of fabric will be sixth. Okay, so let's go longest to shortest. So I'm just going to kind of draw it like this. Long to short. And so we first need to figure out if they're not using the words greatest to least, that least to greatest or greatest to least. Longest is going to be the greatest. So I'm going to put greatest to least. All right, so let's put these in order. And let's build our place value chart. And it looks like we're going to the ones place all the way to the thousandths place. All right, so tenths, and you know what? This time I'll just build it with decimals, with fractions instead. Either works. Hundredths, and here's my thousandths. All right, so we will do blue is going to be 1.5. And I'm just going to put BL. Green is 1.499. Put the first two digits green. Red is 1.501. And you're probably already thinking, you know what, you should go ahead and put those extra zeros. So let's go ahead and do that while we're building it, because you know we're going to need that. That's our next step. 1.49. Let's add that zero. My orange is 1.51. Let's add that zero. I've got teal. And that is going to be 1.489. And then my black, which is BL as well. So I'm going to make that BLA, and that's going to be BLU, is 1.511. All right, so now that they're all the same number of digits to go to the thousandths place, they all have a 1 in the ones place, right? So now we're just looking at the last three digits. We're looking for the longest first. So I've got 500s and 400s. Let's deal with my 500s. So 500, 501, 510, 511. All right, so that 511 is going to be the longest, so we'll put black. And I'll just go ahead and put the distance here, 1.511. So once that is done, let's do our our orange. And whenever we list it, we're going to list the original number. We're going to drop that extra zero we added. So 511, 510, 501, and then 500. So we've got red, 1.501, and then blue, 1.5. All right, so we've already knocked out four of them. So we've got three left, and we've got we're going from the longest to shortest, greatest to least, 499, 490, 489. So this 499 is going to be next, 1.499. And then I've got my 490, my 489. So my yellow, 1.49. And then my teal is my shortest distance, 1.489. Now, I've got them in order. Which piece of fabric will be placed sixth? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is that yellow. Oops. Let's get it back on drawing. There we go. And so let's get my yellow will be placed 6th. And since there's a lot of words there, it's always good to kind of write out your answer. Yellow will be placed 6th. All right, if you are interested in exploring the 4.2b Readiness Practice resource aligned with the intermediate or the proficient versions, or the 4.2b Readiness Practice or the Readiness Practice resource aligned with any other standard, you can find those by using the link in the video description.